This is my Iwagumi scaped bowl, and well, there's not much Iwagumi to be seen anymore. As you guys can see, the plants have completely outgrown the entire bowl, and I do actually very much like it, but I do really would like to see the Iwagumi scape once again, and I rarely get to see my absolute favorite shrimp, which are crystal red or red bee shrimp, and there are a few inside here, and I do get to see one here and there, though the point of an Iwagumi scape is to actually have the nice scape in the background, to have a nice little carpet, and well, today we are going to change all of that. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and yes, today is going to be finally the day where I actually take on the Iwagumi bowl and yes, give it actually its first little trim. Hopefully try and actually cut down the pearl weed so that I can actually, well, get it to become quite a nice little carpet. The bowl has basically been up and running now for roughly around about 5 months now. And for those of you who haven't seen the whole build series of the Iwagumi bowl, I'll put a tag up here so you guys can go check out the playlist. Do go check out the videos and come back to this one. And if not, then I'm going to try and, well, give you guys a quick little rundown on how I created this little Iwagumi bowl. So when I started off this project, I already had my first little disaster where the first bowl that I actually had actually broke in my hand whilst I was trying to clean it, and it fell onto the floor, broke into 1,000 little pieces, and well, I had to get a brand new bowl. I spent a little bit more money and actually got myself a much better quality bowl than the one that I actually previously had. After that, as usual, I obviously started off with the substrate layer in the bowl. I went for a very rich nutrient substrate layer. I started off by adding in a layer of crushed up root tabs. I capped it all off with some dennerless substrate, which is a very nutrient rich clay based media, and I capped that all off with some fresh aquasoil from Dennerler as well. After that, I obviously added in the scape. I used some Zen pebbles, and I just created a very simple 3-stone main layout, and I added 2 sacrificial rocks, going with the whole Iwagumi style of going with the odd numbers. And it wasn't anything fancy. It's my first little Iwagumi scape, especially in a bowl. I didn't really go for anything, well, too dramatic, I would say. After that, I added in the plants, and I did not go with the traditional odd numbers on plants as well. I only used 2 species of plants. I added in some Eleocharis auricularis, the long grass version, into the back, and I added in pearl weed as the carpeting plant. Maybe not the best of choices, since well, it has completely taken over the entire scape. With pearlweed, I thought to myself, it's a quick and easy growing plant. I've seen quite a few other content creators use pearlweed as a carpeting plant, so I went with pearlweed. Once the layout was all planted, I actually made, I would say, 2 mistakes. The first one was I decided to go with the dry start method. For those of you who don't know what the dry start method is, once you've actually planted your scape, you spray it all down with water, you cover the top with some cling film, poke a few holes into it, set your tank, or in my case, the bowl, underneath the light, and you don't fill the tank or the bowl up, and you just let the plants grow in for a few weeks in normal atmospheric conditions. Now, the first mistake that I did there was that the lighting that I used wasn't really, well, strong enough or efficient enough, I would kind of say. For the build, I actually bought 2 LED light stands off Amazon, and I do very much like these light stands. I've actually been using the light stands on 2 separate little projects. The one LED light stand I'm actually using on this mini jar right here that I actually created before the Iwagumi bowl. And I absolutely love these lights. They work perfectly. I mean, all of the plants in here are doing absolutely well. And I also added in a few baby shrimps. They're doing fine as well. So these lights do the job. And the other LED light stand I'm using on my desk here for the shrimp vase that I created. Absolutely love this set. The lights work extremely well. The plants are growing absolutely fine. The shrimps are also absolutely loving it. But the lights were unfortunately just not perfect for the bowl. Now, I will put a link down below to the LED light stands from Amazon. As mentioned, they work extremely well. But with the LED lights on those light stands only being 5 watts, the gooseneck was also just a little bit too high, and the base platform wasn't perfect for the bowl. I just think that the plants just didn't really get enough light. Unfortunately, with all of that, the plants slowly but surely started melting away, which is also a usual thing when you do a dry start. And I was panicking a little bit and didn't really know what to do, and I sort of just left it at that. Eventually mold started growing, which killed off a few more plants. And after all of that, I looked into the bowl at one point and I saw the substrate was absolutely wiggling with tiny little maggots, or tiny little larvae rather said. They eventually started eating all of the healthy plants as well, which led to the second disaster where basically the entire bowl was sort of almost plantless again. After all of that, I was a little bit demoralized and I thought to myself I was going to give everything another try. But before I went ahead ahead and got another batch of plants. I decided to address the light issue and I built my own LED light stand using a floodlight and just a few pieces of wood. Added a little bit of an extra touch to the DIY light stand by making the gooseneck actually rotatable so that I can actually rotate the light off to one side so I can actually get into the bowl to do some maintenance like a water change, or like today to actually give the bowl its first little trim. Once the light stand was done, I got myself another batch of plants. Again, I got some pearlweed and some Eleocharis utricularis, replanted the bowl, immediately filled it up with water to hopefully kill any larvae that were still present in the soil, and started the bowl off the traditional way. As per usual, I did the daily water change for about a week, then I reduced it to once a week, and after around about 4 weeks, the plants were actually quite settled in already. All of the water parameters looked good, and I added in some crystal red shrimp. The crystal red shrimp, they are doing extremely well in this bowl. I do, however, only get to see 1 or 2 in the given day, and I do see a few more when I actually feed them. But yeah, it definitely needs a trim, and I've been talking way too long. Let me get the bowl out of its little nook, and then we can start chopping away at the plants. Okay, I got the bowl and the light stand moved over onto my very stable table. I have a few tools here. I got my scissors. I also got some tweezers. I do want to try and keep as many offcuts as I possibly can. Pearlweed obviously grows like a weed, but I'm going to put some aside into my plant grower tank. I'm going to have a look as well once I trimmed it all down if there are any bold spots. I can also then just replant the pearlweed. I will say I'm a little bit nervous. This is my first time actually trimming something like this, and I really hope I don't mess this up. I don't want a third disaster on my hands, though I would say all we have to do is basically just go in and start chopping away. I need to also be careful that I don't actually chop a shrimp in half, though the shrimp are pretty agile. They should be fine. I'm going to try and keep the light on the bowl so that you guys can actually see. Basically, all I need to do is just start cutting away. So let's do the first chop. Well, here we go. First cut. This is pretty simple. I'm just going to take a few bits off the top. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go any shorter on the pearlweed, even though I do believe I could still go shorter, but I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm actually quite amazed of how good it looks. Actually much better than what I actually even expected. From when I planted it till now, as mentioned, it's been the first trim, and I can actually see the scape again. I can actually even see the shrimp again. Even though the shrimp are still very, very good at hiding in between all of the pearlweed. There are, however, still a lot of offcuts on the top here. I'm going to try and fish everything out as best as I can. I still need to clean the glass. There's a few places where there's a bit of spot algae on the glass, but that's easily removable. Do a little bit of a water change, and well, then we are done with the bowl. Once the water change is all done and the bowl is filled up again, then I'm going to give you guys a few more B-rolls. Hopefully the shrimp are still going to come out a little bit more. Obviously get the bowl back onto its place on the cupboard, but I'm extremely happy with the way that it looks. Just need to clean it up, and then the bowl is all done and complete. 3 days have actually passed since I trimmed up the bowl, and I do apologize if my voice sounds a little bit groggy. I did catch a bug somewhere over the weekend, and yeah, I'm a little bit sick, but nonetheless, the bowl looks quite amazing. I'm still very much in love with it. I can actually see the scape now. I can actually see the shrimps, and the shrimps are all doing very, very well. They're swimming around, they're eating, they are doing their thing, and they have also gotten a lot bigger since when I actually bought them. So yeah, I'm absolutely pleased with it. The plants, they are going to take some time to recover from the trim, but pillweed is going to regrow quite quickly, so I'm not too worried about everything. I don't think anything is going to really happen to the plants. I think in a few weeks' time, I'm going to give it another little trim. Once the plants actually start growing, the more you actually trim your carpet, the denser the plant growth is going to be, and the smaller the whole leaf structure is going to get, and it's just going to look even better over time. Unfortunately though, one of the rocks that I placed at the very, very front here is not really that visible, so you only get to actually see 2 of the rocks, but I don't mind at all. I'm absolutely pleased with the way that it turned out. It is such a simple little setup, though it has quite a big effect here in my little corner. So yeah, absolutely love it. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below and tell me your thoughts on the Iwagumi bowl. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to not miss out on future projects. There is still a lot of things to come, but otherwise I'm going to call it here for now. I'm going to go lie down again and just rest a little bit, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.